Hey everyone, it's Will, GamerDad, with another video for you. So I do apologize for the late video, just got out of a meeting this evening, and so that being said, we are on a new version of update 3.3.100, and so this is an in-game update if you haven't already updated. And other than that, make sure you do update so you can have access to all the latest banners such as these ones. Now, if you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. Alright, so we know that AS Palm is the featured unit, so let's get right into it and check out the different Fateful encounters as well as the normal encounter. Alright, so of course, Fatefuls always use paid stones. Now, this one is the one that's featuring Palm AS as well as Efi, Yakumo, Melody AS, and Dreamweaver Alter Dunerith. That being said, these are all staff units, and so I'm sure you can find different ways to either use them on the same team, which I'm not sure if they would be as compatible, being they are mostly different elements. I think Melody is wind, for example. Alter Dunerith is water. Efi and Yakumo are shade, and of course Palm AS is fire. And so that being said, they're all powerful units in their own right. Unfortunately, they are only 10% each for the 5 different units featured, and so 50% of a good one, so to speak, and 50% of a rando. And so it really depends on how valuable you think these units are. You've heard me talk at length about Efi and Yakumo. However, I have covered AS Melody as well as Alter Dunerith in my previous Should You Summons. As a review, with this banner, obviously Efi and Yakumo are extremely powerful. Efi, you've heard as a previous #1 choice for my Star Dream encounters if you're going to use Star Dream. And Yakumo, I mean, you have Kumos, you have delete from Yakumo, very high-powered magic shade user. And of course, there are different ways to modify the element and so on and so forth to make them extremely powerful. Not to mention, get the buddy for free, and you always pull for the buddy and not the unit. AS Melody kind of awakens wind zone every 3 turns, breaks it and reawakens. So in the right team setup, can really power up most wind teams, including teams featuring Cesta, which I'm sure most of you have used to some great effect. And finally, Alter Dunerith as a water, I'll say mainly support with a little bit of DPS, has counter heal, has some tanking abilities, pretty useful as a water zone setter, and has some decent abilities in his own right. So all 5 units are quite good, and of course we haven't even talked about AS Palm, which is our newest unit. If you really need most of these units and you haven't found a way to get them in any other way, this is still a featured banner. You can give it a shot if you want. You have 2 chances here. I mean, however, I would imagine most of you have most of these units either through side grades or the previous Star Dreams out there. So if you're new to the game, then this is a great way to try for them. But if you already have most of these units and say you're only missing 1 or 2, I wouldn't advise that by any stretch. That being said, pretty powerful banner nonetheless. And then we have the actual Fateful that features another style Venus. Remember, this is a 4-star unit, so it's not a 4.5. The 3-star and 4-star are all uprated for this banner. Pulls 1 to 9, and then pulls 10 is 10% chance of getting AS Palm, or 1% chance through pulls 1 to 9. So again, these are the best chances of getting a featured unit if you want to pull it on the Fateful itself. Remember, these are paid banners, has the Valettes of the world, among other new units out there, AS Orlea. And of course, you know what's up. You know that there are the bots, Rainbow Sisters and Lights, which love to haunt us in our pulls. And finally, no, that's an old one. Finally, we do have her as well. Note that they do mark it as 60 days left. You can see that the newest updates do show the newest banners and how many days left, so you can keep that in mind when deciding what to do here. This is the same thing, 2 and 1% chance respectively of the 3.5 or the 4-star. And you do have a 1% chance just similar to the Fateful, however, of course, is not guaranteed on the 10th pull as a 10% chance, just a straight 1% chance to uprate on the 10th pull. So no uprated on the 10th pull at all. If you want to pull single specifically, only to get AS Palm, I guess you can do so, but we always recommend doing 10 pulls just because you do have the chances of 4.5s and other 5-star units which are boosted by doing so. Note that this comes as a split banner in combination with Kikyo, 0.4 for the 4.5 and 0.8 for the 5-star. AS Kikyo is not featured. And of course, bots, rainbows, and sisters. Alright, so how good is AS Palm? Well, first of all, it really depends on how high your AS Palm is, or normal Palm. I mean, we all have her in the 3.5 or 4-star if you've been playing any length of time in the game. But what she does bring is she is got the similar kind of style as the other newest units out there. When user is in the front line and there are 4, in this case 4 staff users in the front line, it's going to deploy a weapon zone called Magic Fate or Magic Zone. And it'll also awaken it at the same time. So similar idea to kind of the Cestas or the Daenerys or some of the newest users out there. You just get the zone. So you save yourself at least 2 moves traditionally, because one move would be to set the zone, one move would be to awaken the zone. And so that's not bad to allow you to set up your first turn AF much more better. And speaking of which, when she is in awakened zone, she can give herself she gets a preemptive move that basically replaces a normal attack that gives everyone link to all party members. It does not attack. However, not only does it give link, which basically allows each attacking move from all your other units, including herself, it will attack again. So you get an extra small hit, which is not bad, and each of those hits inflicts 3 stacks of elemental break fire. So depending on how you time your self, and some people have had issues with, for example, El Seal, with other attacks consuming those elemental breaks. If you can do things right, you can really allow yourself to do tons and tons of damage. Like if you've used Minoka, you can see how powerful she stacks her elemental break and then blasts away with one of her other attacks, the rip and tear and so on and so forth. So that being said, it does only charge the AF bar a little bit. However, it still allows you more and more hits, which is great during things like AF for combo raid, as well as just wearing down multi-hit barriers. It does stack a red orb on enemies, which is her specialty. And for every stack, then the poison and pain damage on those enemies become higher and higher and higher. So not to really rely on pain and poison damage, but it's just kind of nice to have it there. I'm not sure how effective that will be, or if some enemies in the future are only going to be damaged by poison and pain, but it is a bonus there nonetheless. She does also have new 5-star moves as an AS. Her one move is basically a buff move which does not attack. Instant speed 50%, magic crit damage plus 25%, gives everyone mental focus, and of course this is a magic zone setter, so that will help your magic team. However, in an awakened magic zone, which is going to be like her in the first turn, you're going to get instant speed plus 100, magic crit damage plus 50, and that's not bad, and that will help power up her main DPS, which is Fire, AoE, XL, inflicts poison and pain, and of course that can combine with her other move that will stack those red orbs, and it gives everyone crit rate 100% for magic, and will do extra damage if she has pain and poison on the enemy, similar to my waifu Suzette. And it also allows you to do more damage based on the number of red orbs on the enemy, up to 4 times. And so I don't know how quickly you'll be able to set up 4 stacks of that, red orbs. Sounds interesting. Not sure how effective it will be in practice. And so the real question is, should you summon? In one word, no. Now, in more words, why? Well, first of all, as a free-to-play player, I always recommend ways to kind of save or conserve stones, because you need stones for future banners, some of which are brand new units, obviously, and other times units you do not have. And everyone has Palm, okay? I mean, if you've pulled like 2 or 3 10-pulls, you'll have Palm from the very beginning of the game. For a mature player myself, I think my Palm's over 100. So, if you have the unit, you can grind out the treaty Cs and then side grade it that way. She does not have an awakened ability yet in terms of having the new Japan upgrades, and so you can side grade her without any penalty by doing it the traditional way. In future, units will, and that will be actually the next update. We have a live stream coming up in about 4 days from now. Should be interesting how it's a simultaneous live stream with Japan and global. Should be interesting what they talk about in terms of introducing that Star Awakening system. Some of you are probably all well versed about it. I've released a video about my thoughts and concerns about that new upgrading system. To make a long story short, it looks like it's going to heavily restrict how you're going to upgrade your units, especially if you're free to play. Now that being said, back to the unit itself, AS Palm should not pull. If anything, save your money for the next banner out there. You can just grind this one out. Not to mention, she has a lot of competition in Magic Zone setting. The premier Magic Zone setter that I can think of is Ultra Shion. What I can see here is she cannot set a zone with a move. That's really bad, actually. Most of the other units that can also awaken zone right off the bat, they also have a preemptive move that sets zone. She does not have one, and she can VC in Magic Zone, but no one uses VCs anymore anyways. You get punished for VCing in because if you don't start a one-turn AF, you're pretty much dead on arrival for the most part. And so, that really, really brings my view of her down substantially. So anyways, regardless of how cute she is or whatever, I would say power levels, probably no. Definitely because you have the unit, definitely no, save your stones. That being said, let me know in the comments below if you decided to summon on your waifu anyways, and if you did, hopefully you got the unit in a few stones only. Other than that, remember that everyone has Kikyo, so make sure you challenge the manifest fight for Kikyo, and if you're running low on time, stack a bunch of units onto a team that has one unit that can clear some mobs, and then walk through the red key sealed realm dungeon. I think 3 keys will get all the 37 million XP required for the second more difficult fight. Unfortunately, it is late for me, being that I just got home from a meeting. I will not be attempting any fights tonight. Probably do it tomorrow. Gotta go to sleep early tonight. Tomorrow's gotta be a long day. So that being said, sorry for that. Hopefully this gives you idea about the banner itself. I'm sure most of you have probably made up your mind one way or another anyways. And if you have been following this channel, you already knew ahead of time probably how I'm going to talk about the unit. Now that being said, the next few units should be interesting in my thoughts, and I will share those with you in the near future. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.